we're going to take a hands-on look at everything new here in iOS 11 Beta 2, including the Do Not Disturb while driving mode that's now enabled. There's a huge list of bug features, and of course all this is down below in the description, but a few of the big fixes that have been done is data selectors with 3D touch now work on things like phone numbers and addresses. Bluetooth connectivity is so much better than it was in the last one, so people who use a lot of Bluetooth accessories like Dexcom find that it actually stays connected now. There's new express settings when you're setting up a new device, allowing you to kind of skip through a few screens. The 22 or the clock icon there, it's going to be a little bit darker than it was in the past. When you go ahead and scroll around on your brightness, it'll actually maintain those manual settings instead of just reverting back to whatever it wanted in a few seconds. If you use YouTube often, the search bar has now come back magically for us. Android migration now actually works as expected. When you delete a voicemail, previously this would crash your phone. Obviously that does not do that anymore. People who do that a lot will be very happy. If you've used the long exposure setting for live photos to get that really cool live exposure effect for water or traffic or something, these are a lot higher quality than they were in the first one. There's a big difference in quality of those photos. Moving on to some of the user-facing features, if we're in photos, and it works for many things, not just photos, but there's a new add to files share sheet. So if you ever have something you need to say, whether it's a RAR or a photo or a document, anything like that, you can actually send to the Files app and choose the location. Speaking of the Files app, especially in the first beta, it was pretty useless. You couldn't do a lot with it. Well, that's still kind of the case here in Beta 2, but they have been making some improvements, including the ability to add third-party locations and applications here to the actual Files app. So I can see Drive and Transmit, but Dropbox and a few others have shown up as well. Moving back into photos, when you went to edit and you wanted to add like a filter, it used to be a little slide icon down at the bottom. It's no longer the case, you tap the edit button in the top right hand corner instead. The music widget in Control Center has gotten tweaked a little bit. It looks better than it did in the past, and while there's no album artwork, there's now a little phone icon while it's waiting for album artwork to load, or while nothing's playing at all. When we jump to the lock screen and you have something playing, you now have the option to choose sources. So if you have like AirPods or other sources like that you want to get to really quick and easy. Now if you're in the lock screen, you pull that up, choose your Apple TVs or your AirPods or other Bluetooth headphones, whatever you've got going on. The lock screen also will no longer rotate as it could sometimes in the past. The Bluetooth now in Control Center works just like the Wi-Fi one. So when you tap on Bluetooth, it doesn't turn the Bluetooth off, but it'll simply disconnect you from any Bluetooth devices you're currently connected to. Do Not Disturb while driving mode is now enabled. It gives you a nice little pop-up, and when you jump into the settings application, you have a few options for automatically only when it connects to the car Bluetooth, or you can just manually do it yourself. And then also, when you do have it enabled, you can auto send things to certain people, auto replies, and of course you can change that message to whatever you'd like it to be. Of course, before you could slide down from the top and get into your new cover screen or your notification center, whatever you want to call it, but now there's a new little animation, a little blur effect. It kind of blurs between your icons there and your background, and it looks really, really nice. Fans of foreign languages may be excited because now using Siri's voiceover dictation features is now available in Hindi. So if you do dictation in Hindi, you can do that now with Siri's dictation in iOS 11 Beta 2. And we also have some new advanced features for Safari. Going into the settings tab, then going to Safari, down to the bottom under advanced, we have experimental features. Clearly not done being built at with our localized string not found on top, but there are several different toggles you can turn on about new kind of upcoming advanced web features that you can test out in your browser for those kind of special web pages. And lastly, we have some new changes to CarPlay, including the speed limit has gotten a little bit smaller than it was in the past, and lane guidance actually works in this beta. So 2 changes there for CarPlay users, and Maps users are going to have some of that as well. So of course, this is a non-exhaustive list. If you found something else we missed, throw it up in the comments below. Please subscribe, and until next time.